Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you another Dibs ML journal entries, where we look at monsters that people are unsure of, not commonly used, and or just newest monsters. People don't know what they do yet. How good are they? What have you? Today we are looking at Igursus, who, unlike the other entries I've done so far, aren't. It isn't a unsure or unpopular monster. I'd say this in terms of popularity, this thing was huge in terms of when it was coming out. Everybody wanted this thing, really did. Uh, so I'm gonna be voicing my review on it today, with this journal entry. Uh, I have built him the extra guy build, so I don't build him full damage. Uh, he's a monster based on the idea of using him on defense, for the most part. He's pretty much fire Oros. He's pretty much fire Oros that does damage. He does damage. Unlike Oros, he is capable of doing the damages. And he's capable of doing mirror mirror, which is Vesivus, which ally will receive all single target attacks and will reflect all attacks. The mirror lasts for one turn, so in all honesty, I wish it lasted for two. Because once that mirror is gone, they're like, oh man, I wish that was up again. uh, you get that feeling when you use this thing, and it's his turn. It's like, ah, man, I don't want to see your turn for another 3 turns, man. You just like keep mirror up, man. But it only lasts for one turn. Sometimes they like the saying goes, sometimes all you need is one. Uh, all you need is one to get the job done. For the most part, that's true. I have used this. Uh, again, the rule of thumb is I have to use the monster in several games before I do a journal entry. That's just the thing I do. I either have to test it out in the dungeons or do it in PvP. And so far, I gotta say, this monster is fantastic. The amount of stupid stuff you can do, the amount of the monsters you can pair it up with, the stupid combos, fantastic. The synergy with this man and Totem is absurd, because Totem can essentially reduce all the damage, power obviously by 30%. I mean, it takes 30% of a person's power, so they're not doing much damage at this point. If you pair it up with Timeron, I can imagine the damage even being more reduced. Which is fantastic for Igursus. I'm gonna say the less damage Igursus takes, the better, because that means he can just stomach more attacks and all that jazz. Uh, Works fantastic synergy with Totem and or Timeron, with the damage reduction. I would say even more so with Totem, because Totem can fill in the power runes that you don't give him. He can do that. You do lose a lot of power. He's not like a full-on attacker. You can build him like that. You can build them 2 powers. But the main concept is just put him on defense, for the situation where you're using him in the concept of defense. So we do lack some power. We are lacking the POW in power. Though he does hold the gospel power of 465, it doesn't mean it's okay to lose out on damage. I'm gonna say if you rank him up, that's gonna patch that up a bit. But obviously mine's 100, so it's missing some of that power. It's also holding a level 5 strength rune, not a 10. I'm trying to get that fixed. I really want to put this guy. I feel like this is one of those monsters which would work fantastic with full X runes. There's no reason not to put all X runes on this monster when building it. You can get away with, in all honesty, you can get away with running a level 9 speed rune too. Just, you don't have to run an X speed rune. That's just a 1% more speed. Whoop-de-doo. Honestly, it's either cheaper to do an 8 or a 9 for that speed rune. You don't need to go overboard with it, because again, he's not a denier. You could spand off with an 8 or 9. A 7 if you're not in those kind of tiers where every single person on the enemy team is running an X rune. Yeah, for the most part, high runes are, I'd say, a thumbs up for this monster. Unlike Oros, he does hold a AoE that burns all targets. So essentially, him being slow actually helps with his DOT. Like, he has a DOT, so he kind of plays the game of you have to kill him quickly, or DOTs will end you. uh, because he also holds quicksand. He also holds quicksand, which combos really well with burning. Now these are two separate moves. I'm gonna say if this was an AOE that did burning and quicksand, it would be so OP. But it's not. Again, you feel it does feel kind of awkward setting this up. I mean, like you have to set it up two different times, and by that time the monster is probably already dead. I guess that's just an awkward thing, but it is what it is. Krakatoa is really fun to use. I've had several occasions where I should have died, but I didn't because the shield is so big. It's 50% of your life. So you can imagine how stupid this is once you rank this thing up and you put a really good life rune on it, like an X life rune on it. It's stupid. The shielding is stupid on it. Uh, but again, combos, these two DOTs combo really well. I will say he misses out on kill potential if he doesn't run the 70 damage move. Is this something you have to live with? Is this something you have to live with? Not having a 70 damage single target move. You feel like you're missing out on a kill there. You just that kill potential. But you're sacrificing it for longevity, and that's what the point of this monster is to stay out there for a really long time. Uh, Now we're gonna go on to my concerns. If you guys watched my guide for this video, not for this video, this monster here, I voiced concerns that it has the same concerns as Oros. He does. Uh, I think his problem could be more severe though. In the case of the vent, he's possessed. With Oros, it doesn't matter if he's possessed because his damage is obviously you're not building damage with him, so he's not gonna hurt anybody. Uh, Unless if you were to like rank him up, then maybe the damage would be there, possibly. Unless if you build a damage thing. With Igursus, if he gets possessed, you're not in a good spot. If he gets possessed, you're gonna be done for. If he does the ultimate, you're dead. If he goes for like the AOE, is burning AOE, you're dead. And I mean this is the next part, if he has put up his mirror and he gets hit with a possession and he's now possessed, he's going to reflect that possession on your team. He's going to, I don't know if many people know this, but if you currently have mirror up and if you get possessed, AoE possessed, the AoE goes right back at your own team, not the enemy team. It doesn't go back at them. It goes back at you because Igursus is currently possessed. So he's going to send it back to obviously your teammates because he's possessed. He's not gonna send that back to the enemy because that's not how possession works. When you're possessed, you send the stuff to your enemy. I mean, you attack your own allies, and when you get hit with an AOE possession, you're you're just done. This is how Igursus works in a nutshell in terms of that mirror. But beyond that, that concern though. You should, talking about this concern here, you should put it with something that gives immunity to possession and/or can remove possessions. You really need to do that. That has to be a thing. You cannot put this thing on defense, knowing that there are possessors in the whatever war you're in, without putting a monster with immunity to possession on that defensive team. Unless there's literally no monster with a possession AOE, you need to do that. It's just something you have to do, because that could be really bad for you, in all honesty. It wouldn't do you any good to put Igursus on defense if they just control it the whole game. That's the same ordeal with Oros. If they can control your Oros the whole game, there's no point in having them there. If they can deny, mega stun him, I think that's, it's kind of you could say that's the reason why Igursus is running better than Oros, because he doesn't have to deal with Brawnies. He just doesn't. He's in the fire category. Oros is in the, earth category. So that's just not a thing. It's just not a thing he has to deal with. And all the fire monsters in his category, all they do at the moment is stun. Single target stun. So he's got a really great spot in terms of dealing with his other kind. And in terms of dealing with his own kind, he's fantastic. People say like, but since a lot of fire monsters are immune to burning, they're not going to take much advantage. How many people use Dartmouth? First question: how many people use Dartmouth? And second, how many people not bring them to war? I mean, like, bring them to the attacking, too. People are going to bring probably Dartmouth to the fight, Odds are at least one person. If they pick a fight with the odds are one person's going to bring that Dartmouth, and you're going to set them on fire. It's just the thing. But with Mega Stunning possess. I voiced Mega Stun's an obvious one. If you're Mega Stun the whole game, there was no point in bringing Igursus. Like none. Uh oh, what else? What else? What else? I find the combo really nice. 50% shield, really nice. Festivus, really nice. It is so funny. I'm gonna say, if you guys want to do a really trolly thing, you bring Igursus here, and you bring Demise. You use the double damage priority on Igursus, and then you could do Vesifus right away. And if the enemies, all three enemies are going before you, you can send all their attacks immediately back at them. It is so funny. It is so funny to see Thetis get hit with stamina devours too. I mean, like her team get hit with stamina devours. It is so funny. It's like, well, that was a waste of a move. Or it's like monster slot because I just sent it back at you. That's what Igursus says when he sends the stamina devours back at her. It's funny. So if they let's say if they got their ultimates too, he could send those back too. Like there's a bunch of trolly things you can do with Mirror. Just a bunch. It can pretty much help you counter Voltic. He is a Voltic counter. If he sets up Vesifus, pretty much means like Voltic cannot touch him. Just straight up. If Igursus sets up his mirror before Voltic gets to move, if Voltic were to do an extra turn move, he gets Igursus is gonna send that extra turn back, and thus he gets a turn. Thus Igursus can do his stuff again. He can freely move. He can set up a shield if he wanted to. He is a really strong counter to Voltic. Just straight up. I'm gonna say monsters that can give him regen / remove debuffs, like the one of the new monsters, two of the new monsters, Tulkaju and Ukuduma. Those are fantastic monsters to pair it up with, as far as I'm concerned. Tulkaju can help boost the damage he does, since he makes the whole enemy team weak to fire. He can also remove debuffs. Ukadumas are helpful because he's immune to possession, so in the case of the event you do get possessed, there's a chance Ukaduma will do one of his two remove negative effect AoEs, remove the possession, so Igursus can freely move and do an attack, whatever he wishes. There's just a lot of stuff you can do with those two monsters. Those are honestly really great monsters to pair up with Igursus. I can see a lot of play. I'll probably showcase that when I get them. But for now, I don't have them, so I can't show you guys, sadly. I can't show you guys the absurd amount of stuff those two could do. I mean, like, those two supports could do with Igursus. It's just absurd. But yeah, overall, I'd say he's pretty stellar. I'd say the mainstream build is pretty stellar. So we're gonna do a few fights today, and we're gonna use the team that I've been using with Igursus, and it's a lot of fun. I call this the Hawaii theme team. So of course we have to have our man Igursus in the middle. It's just mandatory. We need to have Igursus. We need to have Totem. And we need to have Lamuna. Thus we have our Hawaii theme team. Bam. And yes, it would make sense, but Dib, why not use Teffer as the volcano? It's like, well, we're using Igursus for this video, and he's also kind of a volcano, so there. He's also he's a mountain volcano. I don't know. It works. So I want to fight a team. What do I want to fight? I want to fight a team that gives AoE possession, that does an AoE possession. I feel like that would be a good opponent to fight against. Hopefully we get one of those. We get that in the form of 130 monsters. That doesn't seem too promising. We have to deal with the Timuron. Yeah, we'll do this fight. We'll do this fight with Mystery and Timuron here. Yep. So we're gonna do this fight. We're gonna set the cooldowns on. We're gonna set the cooldowns on Timuron. That's a fantastic move. In all honesty, you guys should get Lamuna. Fantastic magic monster. So in that situation, we didn't get possessed. We're gonna do Exambo Mambo here to reduce any damage they were planning on doing to us. Mirror Mirror's damage does not scale with how much damage they do to you. It scales with your own damage. So the more damage you have, uh, it's just the more things you can reflect the damage back. When you reflect damage back, it's scaled off your damage. So it's a really good idea not to have this guy have any reduced power whatsoever. If he's poisoned, if he's damage reduction, it hurts the mirror damage. You don't want that. Uh, so just keep that in mind. As you can see, Pakayo, even with a level 5 surge, this is respectable damage. It also could be because of the fact he's currently buffed at the moment. Like, he currently has, I think it's like a 20% buff or 5% buff. I don't know. So he does more damage than Yush. We're gonna set up Vesifus here. We're gonna do that. We're gonna show you just the main concern when doing, just straight up the. We're just gonna heal. The whole point of this fight was to show you guys the main concern, just the main concern when running Igursus. Hopefully this guy goes for the possession on Igursus. See, isn't that funny? That was funny. That was a freeze? Yeah, that was the freeze. Why did it say stun block? I mean, like, obviously it's immune to freeze and stun, but why did it say stun block? So yeah, we can bump up our damage here on Igursus. Oh, I can also funny thing too. A really funny thing you could do with Igursus, you could do the AOE. You could do the AOE words. You could do the AOE. You could do the AOE. Man, I lost my train of thought. I just completely zoned out there. I'm sorry, I just completely zoned out there. I can't remember what I was gonna bring up here. Just completely forgot about it. I think that was the special based move. We're gonna heal. We're gonna heal our man Igursus. Oh, okay. I just remembered. I just remembered what you could do. So Totem does hold AOE buffs. They're really small. But you can stack them up quickly. Let's say you have a really fast Totem and you get more turns in than your Igursus with Totem. You can essentially get a lot of huge stacks. A lot of huge stacks. So if you wanted to do AOE power, everyone could get power really fast. If you wanted to do AOE life, everyone could get a lot of life really fast. Because it spreads back to back. That's just something you could do if you have healing to go with. I'm gonna say you need a healer for that to work. Because again, when you add new life to your monster, it doesn't go with it. It doesn't adjust to that new life at least for the life buff, obviously, because you're getting more life. You're not healing it. You're just getting more. So you need a healer. Lamuna could heal for that part, but it's only on a single person. You could say it's a good way to keep your Lamuna alive. I will say that you could use Lamuna's heal on herself constantly to keep her all healthy, while also being able to set up the cooldowns for enemies from time to time, like I did with that Timeron. That Timeron couldn't move once this whole entire game because I kept resetting the cooldowns on him. That's really effective in a battle situation. Now, sadly, I didn't get possessed this game, which was kind of the thing I wanted to show. Like, if you got possessed, it would send it back at you. That's just how mirror works. I wish I could show you guys that, but it didn't happen. Sadly. But yeah, you do want to put someone on defense that gives immunity to possession. It's just a safety thing. You just have to do that. It's just the thing. If they control your Igursus, you're not gonna have a good game at that point. Once your damage dies, you die too. I mean, it's just the comic concept. You don't have any burst anymore. Once you lose your burst, the odds are if you win, you win by either like several ultimates or deny ultimates with negative effects that apply burning DOTs. Or you're just kind of banking on that idea at that point. We could do another game. We could do that. Oh, you know what? What we're gonna do? We're gonna use. Oh, this could be funny. We're gonna do. I don't know if this could either go really bad or really really great. We're gonna use Demise. We're gonna bring Scree with us, and hopefully we have a good time. Oh, this is gonna be so funny. We're gonna fight this Voltic here. We're gonna show you guys the uh, just straight up the absurdity. I don't know if I'm gonna be faster. I don't know if I'm gonna get the first punch in, which is not gonna be great, but we do, and we're gonna do Strength from Beyond here, and we're gonna reflect everything essentially that they do. We're gonna set up Vesivus right here. This is kind of a funny combo. That Voltic is immediately gonna die. Just straight up, just gonna be destroyed. We're gonna do the Exambo Mambo here. We could. Another thing I could have done there. Another thing I could have done. Oh, did I? I just took away stamina. That's funny. So he's gonna be able to reflect that back, and he's gonna be able to get a turn. What I could have done there too, I could have just bumped up the damage on Igursus. Give him another. Give him another strength rune essentially. If you have a level 10 strength, I don't have any doubts I don't have any doubts you're not gonna be able to kill anything, especially if you have it ranked up. You could do any kind of move and it's just straight up dead. We're gonna AoE burn. And we sadly did not get the Voltic. I'm gonna say that doesn't also matter now that even though he gets a turn in, because we lowered his stamina cost too, or like we lowered his maximum stamina, but he did get his ultimate. I don't think this is gonna matter too much either, for the most part. Words. Because we did Exambo Mambo. I'm gonna say Totem is a huge bothersome to the Voltic because it takes away his mana reserve, not mana reserve, stamina reserve. As it cut it in half. This guy's running 2 stamina runes, and I cut it to 255. I don't know what the original maximum was. It was probably around 300, and I took away his toys. Essentially, that's all I did. I want to know how much stamina I actually just took away from him. But yeah, again, I took away 30% of it. I know that much. I don't know the specific amount I did. So all we have to do at this point is kill. All we have to do is kill the Voltic. Bam. We have destroyed his way of living, and we miss with that. Cooldown's activated. That's a thing that isn't so pleasant with Igursus, you could say, that every single one of his moves run on a cooldown. So if you get cooldowns activated, you're not going to do a single thing that game. I'm going to say that right off the bat. If you get cooldowns activated on, you're not going to have a good time. Does he have a 1-turn cooldown move? Yes. It's still a 1-turn. How fast do you guys think this guy goes? He gets 1 turn and once in a millennium. You got to make that turn count. Bam. Why do we have the same life at this point? No. Why did Equalizer miss? Did you guys see that Equalizer totally missed? Yeah, this guy is out of stamina. We'll bump up the damage on Igursus here. But again, just fantastic synergy between Totem and Igursus. Since Igursus is really slow too, and if you put 2 speeds, especially 2 level 10 speeds, that's all you really need. You could possibly get more turns in to stack your buff. I mean, stack your damage buff, which is fantastic. It's great that he didn't do a stop time on Igursus. I'm gonna say that much. That heal's not gonna mean anything. Nothing. But yeah, it's really important for you guys to clear that debuff of stop time. Very important. Not stop time. Possession. You do need to clean that up immediately. This is something you have to do. We're gonna just reduce this man's life and stamina reserve again. He did cooldowns activated again. I might just power up my. I could have attacked. I could have attacked with the mice. Woo. And we're going to do Cursed Idol. In some situation this helps, in some situation it doesn't, but in this situation it does. There we go. That AoE team speed. Sometimes you get your monsters get a turnover you, sometimes the enemy just gets to move over you, which is weird. You know, it's just I don't know how that whole thing works. It just works like Sorry, I unplugged my mic fell from my phone. So that's Igursus. Overall, fantastic monster. Just a few things you need to look out for. Possession, again, very important that you check that. You need to be able to be sure to keep the possession off. Yeah. Two, you need to worry about DOTs. Try to clean up DOTs on Igursus. You don't want your Igursus to be DOT'd. It's just not healthy for him. Uh, And the third thing is you need to watch out for Shalinar. That's my ending. This is going to be my last ending concern with this monster. You need to look out for things that give elemental weakness, just period. Especially like fire, the fire weakness, Shalinar. She will just destroy your world. I mean, like I have no problems at all clearing Igursus. Double damage, ignition plus double damage. Fire piercer equals you're very much dead at this point. Or you can do the AoE too if you have really tanked up strength runes on that Shalinar. You're just gonna melt Igursus. You just die. It's not gonna have any concerns. They're gonna just carry on with their day. Uh, it's just the thing. So that's another thing why Ukaduma works really great synergy with Igursus. Again, if there's a case in the event you do get sticky lava'd, you can remove that. Being any elemental weakness, if you're under an 80% elemental weakness, you need to clean that up. It's a setup for very heavy damage, and you don't want that. You just don't when you're pairing that up with other monsters. Other monsters you may run that can clear that concern, other than Ukaduma, you can run Incognita. It gives stamina regen. I think Fire Arena, another fire monster, can be a good partner with him, since he can heal up and remove negative effects. You just don't want him to be under any DOT. You don't want him to be under any elemental weakness, or you're just done. You're just going to take too much damage. That's kind of what the thing of elemental weakness does. It breaks through tanks. It just does so much damage, and it just makes them feel like they're not tanky anymore. Because of that. Solely because of that. You could say Igursus does more, even though he has the higher base life, he doesn't build 2 life runes, so he's not necessarily as tanky as Oros. He's not necessarily as tanky as him. Which is just the thing. I'm just saying, he kind of takes away, since you're building the extra guy build, you're taken away from being a tank. You're taking some part of that. I'm going to say Igursus works fantastic as an extra guy too. If you decide to bring him and another attacker, or like an attacker, you can be there as your extra guy, your wingman. He'll be there, he'll do his mirror. He'll reflect any AoE back at the enemy, punishing them immediately. You can run him as an extra guy. Of course, he holds in all honesty, beyond his Festivus, he doesn't provide any support for his team. He doesn't do anything like that. With most extra guys, you can usually do like a debuff. Besides some debuff, sometimes you can do a small helper thing, or just extra guy things. Just like healing, or like small healing, or just whatever have you. You could do that. This one doesn't. All this guy does is Festivus, and then just does damage. But for the most part, yeah, he's just there. You could say extra guys also fill in the role of, in the case the event your attacker dies, he's there. This extra guy is there to fill in that role of damage, and yet not also be a sponge. He's also can absorb some damage for you if you so wished. And that is everything you need to know about Igursus here. And if you guys are wondering throughout this entire video, why did I name my Igursus Squidward? All I gotta say is Krakatoa. Go look up SpongeBob Krakatoa, and you know the reason why. It's just, you just know. Or just watch my guide. It was just an episode on SpongeBob. Favorite episode, superhero episode. Squidward. So yeah, I'm Dib the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.